Of course, Democrats are celebrating the fact that the Republicans are split. You know, John Boehner might have gotten elected Speaker of the House again, but there was the 12 votes against him, and their caucus is always split. And you know that actually almost twice as many Democrats voted for the fiscal cliff bill deal in the House as Republicans. So we broke the Republicans back, and they agreed to tax increases, which of course is not factually true. They actually cut taxes because the Bush tax cuts had expired, and that makes an enormous difference in the leverage that the Democrats used to have, which they have now given away, of course. But in the midst of all that, they say, well, we got but you didn't get most of the Republicans. Most of the Republicans actually voted against the bill, right? So then all the Democrats, including a lot of liberal commentators, celebrate. They're like, yeah, that's right. We got the leverage, and you got a split caucus. Republicans are fighting. I mean, if you turn on cable news, you will see that kind of stuff all day long. 24 hours a day on a certain channel, which shall not be named. Like, Republicans are fighting. They're fighting. They're fighting. We got them. No. Wait. You got them how? Okay, so they're fighting. And then what happens? So if the Republicans were fighting, and then we can split off some of the Republicans to vote with the Democrats for progressive ideas, then that's awesome. Then I'll be celebrating, because I care about progressive policy, not about what if there's a D or an R on your helmet, right? So, but their fighting doesn't help the Democrats. Oftentimes it hurts the Democrats, because Boehner goes back to Obama and says, my caucus is split. I'm going to need more concessions. I can't get those guys to go along with me. What can I do? Give me more. And the Democrats play along. But it's so comical that they're now bragging about it. What's interesting is before the deal was signed, Nancy Pelosi was interviewed, and so was Jim Manley. Now, he's the former top aide to Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. So these are two people, Reid and Pelosi, who'd be able to take advantage of a split Republican caucus to push progressive ideas along. First of all, where are the progressive ideas they're pushing along? Where? No, the whole conversation is about, oh my God, how much of a tax cut should we give the rich? And by the way, through the estate tax, capital gains, dividends tax, carried interest, etc., they gave him giant tax cuts just a couple of days ago. All right. So Jim Manley, former aide to Reid, says, talking about Nancy Pelosi, she's got to be sitting back and smiling at all this right now. She's got some pretty good cards to play. Now, I want you to notice something. That's actually from the San Francisco Chronicle, and they talked to these people on December 29th before the deal was set into place, right? So since they did, this was basically the Democrats saying, we got the Republicans over a cliff. And then what did you do with that cliff? Okay. So by the way, just again, let's be clear. President Obama made the Bush tax cuts permanent for 99% of Americans and for 84% of revenue. He gave away 84% of the revenue that we would have had if the Bush tax cuts had expired. And then they're bragging about it. It's like, oh, we got the Republicans. Ha ha. You didn't get anything. Nancy Pelosi herself admits, hey, look, we make fun of the Republicans. That's because they can't keep their caucus together. When I was running things, I kept my caucus together. Well, good for you. What did you do with that? Well, she explains, quote, do you know what it was like for me to bring a bill to the floor to fund the war in Iraq, a war predicated, I should say, on a misrepresentation to the American people? But she's saying she did it anyway. Oh, congratulations. So you kept your caucus together to vote for funding for a war your caucus didn't agree to. So you kept your caucus together so that not that progressives could win, so that Bush could win. I mean, do you see how perverse this is? So we got the Republicans with a split caucus who use that to get even more conservative policies in, and then we've got the progressives with a united caucus who use it for more conservative policies, and then they brag about it. She's not done yet. Pelosi says, so it's tough, but you have to do it. So is the point that you don't want to put your members on the spot? We'll figure it out. We did. That's awesome. So she brags about how we made our members do things they didn't want to do. And Boehner can't even get his conservative members to vote against conservative policy. What? Oh, that's what they're supposed to vote for? Man, the game is rigged. These Democrats, they revel in their loserdom. They are proud of what united losers they are. Like, look at us. We funded the war in Iraq, and we just made 84% of the Bush tax cuts permanent. Even Bush couldn't do that. There was a sunshine or a sunset provision in there where they expired after 10 years, and then it was much harder to get them renewed. But we got them renewed, and we made them permanent. You see that? That's how you use your caucus to the other party's advantage. What? Nobody can lose this bad, this consistently, unless you're paid to lose, unless that's your job. They're not paid to lose elections. They're paid to lose on policy, no matter who wins the election. So when Bush was in charge, the Democrats lost. When Obama's in charge, well, you look at that, they lose again. But through all those policy losses, they are united. And the Republicans have a split caucus. Ha, 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 ha. No. The joke's on us.